years old, your benefit will be reduced that year. By the time 10 years later, your benefit will have been reduced 5 times as much. And if you make it to 85, your benefit will actually be reduced by 10 times as much. This is, to me, a horrifying idea. The current CPIW, which is the way we call the cost of living, was used in 1972. It was the only measure we had at the time, and it was viewed as an advanced thing for an inflation-proof benefit. Now, when we look at it, what we know is that we know the purchasing power, not the purchasing power, what is the market basket that seniors use. Now, change CPI might be fine in other areas or other categories. I'm not going to debate this here today. But what I do want to do this time, this place, I want to sound the alert. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to be at my battle station saying to every member of our caucus and every member of the people on the other side of the aisle, please read up on this. Know what we're doing. If you're going to vote, I don't want to hear buyer's remorse a year from now. I don't want to hear buyer's remorse 2 years from now. I don't want to hear from the seniors in my home state of Maryland to say, where were you, Barbara? Did you say anything? Did you do anything? So I'm saying here today, get out your policy books and for God's sake, read them. Read them. And don't read what this think tank does or that editorial board says. Read the Social Security actuary. Because I'm telling you, we're about to do something that is irrevocable. You know, Mr. President, I believe in old-fashioned values. And one of the great ones is honor thy father and their mother and your mother. It's just not a great commandment to live by. It's sure a great public policy to govern by. The American people every day, particularly who work hard, you know, and live by the rules, go by the rules, pay into Social Security over a lifetime. We said to them, if you do that, your Social Security will be a guaranteed benefit. It will be a lifetime benefit. It will be reliable and undeniable, and it will be inflation-proof. Mr. President, FDR signed that bill that created that contract. Every president, regardless of the party, has kept that promise. And it's up to this Congress not to shred the social contract on the seniors of the United States of America.
Barbara Mikulski is on the Senate floor or on the halls in various meeting rooms making sure that America knows what these proposals are. And I couldn't have been more proud of her when she led all the women senators on the Democratic side of the aisle to push back on the Bush administration's proposal to privatize Social Security. At that point in time, she most succinctly told Americans that women, more than any other in that age group, would suffer because they live longer, they depend on Social Security, and if Social Security was privatized, women would feel the brunt of it. And so I'm proud to be out here this afternoon with her to talk about this proposal that has been, we can't tell because we don't know. We're not on the Super Committee, but seems to be floating around in various forms. Various organizations may be talking about it, the notion that we would change Social Security. Well, I know at home in my state of Washington, people seem to be confused when we're talking about our budgets, and we're obviously having to make tough budget decisions. So people around dining room tables, around city halls, around our state capitol, and here in Congress are having discussions about how to have a budget to live within our means. But when you talk to them about the primary way, and one proposal that surfaced in the last budget negotiations in July was to automatically take $300 billion of cuts right off the top as the major proposal out of a concept called change CPI. When you think about that, the first shot of budget cuts would be on the backs of seniors. it's almost as if somebody thought seniors cooked up exotic financial instruments and foisted them on the U.S. economy, and somehow they should pay the price, when we know that's not the case. So why are people targeting these seniors now? And we're not sure if they are. We've just heard various rumors that perhaps this notion of changed CPI, a change in Social Security benefits, as my colleague just outlined, would be a proposal. So I am here to say I am not for having the seniors in America share the brunt of sacrifice with a proposal like this that would clearly be on the backs of seniors. It's not something they can afford. I know some of my colleagues may have endorsed changed CPI, a change in the Consumer Price Index to calculate inflation, but that really is a cut that would increase over time, and literally the longer you live, the more you're penalized. It's such a disproportionate impact to women who do live longer than men and really count on those benefits for their living. In my state, changes to the cost of living adjustment would hurt more than 1 million Washingtonians. Social Security has kept about 30% of Washington residents who are 65 and older out of poverty. That's what it's done for them. And what's more, 25% of seniors in my state live on Social Security alone. So there is a population that is depending on Social Security, and it makes up either, as I said, they're living on it alone, or it's making up another 21% of them. It makes up 90% of their income. So I think this demonstrates that we cannot support these kinds of cuts, especially at the magnitude that this proposal is talking about. The Social Security Office of the Actuary has reported that changed CPI would reduce a COLA by about 0.3% points a year. So let's look at that example. A single woman, 65 years old, in Washington State would get a monthly benefit of about $1,100 a month, or $13,200 annually. By age 80, if changed CPI would pass, that would result in $56 per month, or $672 annually cut in that benefit. So that's less food, that's less medicine, that's less vital care for these seniors. If that individual actually lived to 90 years old, it would be an $87 a month cut and a $1,044 cut annually. That, if you think about the cost that these seniors endure, and I, for one, have proposed changing the market basket of goods that the CPI is based on, because if you think about it, we have a market basket of goods for their CPI that are what the overall economy looks at, but seniors have a much more expensive market basket of goods. They have to buy more medicine, they have other additional out-of-pocket health care expenses, and so their costs are going up at a higher rate. But this proposal, if you think about it, the average monthly cost of food for a single elderly individual is about $231 per month. That's what the average is, about $53 a week. And that's based on data from the Elder Economic Security Standard Index. So an individual at 80 basically means they'd have 1 week less groceries under changed CPI. That's what it means. They would have 1 week less of groceries every month. And in my state, when you think about the average out-of-pocket health care expenses that seniors have for expenses, that average out-of-pocket expense rises by $1,400 for an individual. So that is, if you just think about it alone, the increase in health care out-of-pocket expenses basically wipes out where many seniors are for any kind of remaining income. And certainly if we put this kind of cut on top of that, it would make it clear that seniors would be getting less from Social Security. Now, we just recently, for the first time since 2009, gave seniors an increase to their cost of living adjustment. And so now what are we going to do? Go backwards and take it away from them? For 75 years, Americans have been paying into Social Security with the promise that they would receive these benefits in their retirement years. And now is not a time to break that promise. So I think my colleague has clearly come to the floor with a message to our other colleagues who aren't here this afternoon to say, take a look at the details of this proposal. This is not a simple proposal about in the future someone is going to get less than they might under some other plan. This is about a cut in the benefit formula today that would impact seniors if implemented. And so I am here with my colleague to say this is not, our economic situation has not been caused by seniors coming to Capitol Hill and proposing that we have opaque derivative markets. It wasn't caused by seniors coming here saying, you know what, let's go ahead and have the banks get rid of Glass-Steagall and so the banks can do whatever they want. I mean, seniors didn't come here and foist this economic situation on us, and yet where are the other proposals to help fix that? Yet the number one proposal that we saw circulating in July was to right off the bat $300 billion coming on the backs of seniors. So that same proposal is still circulating here in the halls of Congress, and my colleague and I are here this afternoon to say it's not the proposal we should be considering. And so I hope our other colleagues will stand up to protect seniors, particularly women who are living longer, and making sure that they have these important Social Security benefits.